The Oklahoma teacher walkout is still on, but some Norman school locations will still serve students. Plus, students could be missing crucial state testing. This is OU Nightly. Hello, thanks for watching OU Nightly. I'm Katelyn Howard.
And I'm Cheyenne Plummer. Oklahoma teachers and state employees say the walkout is still on.
Come Monday, they will be at the state capitol rallying for better pay and funding for education. Breaking just this afternoon, a district that had called off its walkout says the plan is back on. Enid teachers called off their trip to the capitol after the teachers' pay raise bill passed. But in the last 24 hours, a bill to cut part of that bill has many questioning if the funding will hold up. The $450 million tax package could give teachers a $6,000 pay raise and provide some additional funding for textbooks. But just as the governor signed it, another bill was filed that could cut $50 million out of the package by eliminating a $5 per night hotel tax. That has teachers that were feeling positive about the salary asking new questions. Even though Republican leaders insist the rise is fully funded, Enid will join around 100 districts, including Norman, Oklahoma City, and Tulsa, to march on the Capitol come Monday.
For some students, school is just a place to learn, and for others, it's where their meals come from. 60% of Oklahoma students qualify for free and reduced lunches, the fourth highest in the nation. And with mass school closures for the teacher walkout, some students could go days without food. Norman Public Schools provided a list of locations that will still be open on Monday to feed students who depend on school meals for nutrition. Those locations include Adams and Kennedy Elementaries, Irving Middle School, both Norman and Norman North High Schools, Dimensions Academy South, and the Cleveland County YMCA. The elementary locations will provide breakfast from 7:30 to 8:30, and middle school and high school locations will be open for breakfast from 8 to 9. Any Norman Public Schools student can receive a meal from any of the locations listed on our website, ounightly.com.
On top of missing meals, Oklahoma parents are having to find places to send their kids during the workday. The Norman community is doing its part to help with childcare for working parents. Local churches and children's centers are opening their doors to offer affordable daycare options for parents during the teacher walkout. Space is limited in these facilities, and some places are even calling in volunteers to help out.
We have filled 15 spots for the teacher walkout. But we'll also have mothers here who are volunteering with their children. So we'll have close to 25 to 30 children.
For $5, you can send your child to Paradigm Church for snacks and activities from 8:30 a.m. to 3 o'clock.
The University of Oklahoma is also stepping up to make sure that children have a safe place to go during the walkout. Starting Wednesday, the Sam Noble Museum is offering an educational day camp for students. Students will be able to play games, learn about the museum, and have outdoor time.
Well, we're offering our daycare kind of as an opportunity to provide a fun and safe place for students during what could be a rather tumultuous time in our state.
The museum will provide daycare up to April 13th, extending a week further if needed.
And if you've been on campus recently, you might have noticed a change in landscape. Brian Briggs is live with more.
Yeah, spring is in the air on South Oval. Not only does it feel like spring out here, but take a look behind me. These flowers that have just been planted, they are going to be blooming just in time for graduation. So that is the ultimate sign of spring here on South Oval. And you know what? It certainly feels like spring outside with these temperatures across the state. We're seeing 60s. It is beautiful. The sun is shining. The winds are also very light too. We're seeing less than 10 miles an hour. We can hardly feel anything out here except for the Panhandle. Very windy up there, but we're going to see one very nice day on Saturday, and then temperatures are going to quickly drop for Easter, unfortunately. And then we're going to kind of level out for next week. I'll have more coming up in Maine weather, but for now, back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Brian. We are just 3 days away from the teachers' walkout, and OU Nightly's Mandy Lee shows us how school districts are prepping for the big day.
Teachers all over the state of Oklahoma have been seen on the side of busy roads in their areas for what they call an informational picketing.
We're out here to advocate for more funding for our children. Our kids deserve to have the best education that we can give them, and we're not cutting it.
While a budget bill was passed this week, teachers still say it is not enough. The budget bill only supported half of the teacher pay raise asked for, 1/4 of the school funding asked for, and only 2/5 of the support staff funding that teachers want.
We have begged and begged and begged for years for more funding, and enough is enough. It's time for our legislators to make it happen.
This was the last time the teachers had a raise in Oklahoma. He was alive.
Reporting from Moore, Oklahoma, Mandy Lee, OU Nightly.
According to the Oklahoma Teacher Walkout Facebook event, over 7,000 people have RSVP'd to attend.
And while teachers are fighting at the Capitol, students could be missing crucial state testing. This year's testing begins next week for some school districts, and missing those tests could be bad news for Oklahoma schools. Just outside of Tulsa, Verdigris Elementary School is preparing for a school closure Monday. Even if school resumes Tuesday, April 3rd, students will still be required to take the tests.
For those of us that are doing state test prepping, this is basically it. This is our grade level's last day, because the day we come back, whether it be Tuesday or hopefully not, but a week from Tuesday, we are starting the day with state testing.
The window for state testing ends on April 17th. If the walkout lasts past that date, the state is eligible to lose federal funding.
Businesses across Norman have been showing overwhelming support for local teachers. Mitchell's Jewelry on Main Street lit up its electronic marquee showing support for public education funding. Classics 50s on Lindsay did the same. And King's Copy posted on its Facebook page that it will provide free signs for teachers marching. The Norman businesses say the teachers are very appreciative.
We had a teacher stop in the parking lot and take a picture and post that, a really nice picture of it, to our Facebook page, and that has taken off. People have shared that. I got a copy of it text message to me.
Norman schools are closed on Monday to allow the teachers to march at the Capitol. There's no word yet on if they will continue to other days next week. Still ahead on OU Nightly,
a new SpaceX launch might not have gone the way SpaceX CEO had planned. Welcome back to OU Nightly. I'm Brooke Murski in the News Center. The widow of the gunman responsible for the Orlando Pulse nightclub shooting is found not guilty today for suspected involvement in the shooting. Nora Salmon spent 2 years in jail after being accused of providing material support to a foreign terrorist organization and obstruction of justice. It appears even the victims are understanding of the verdict.
After the verdict, they've always, throughout the trial, they showed a sense of dignity and compassion.
Salmon will now return home and be reunited with her son. Across the country in California, SpaceX successfully launched a rocket around 7 this morning, but the ending did not go as planned.
3, 2, 1.
The rocket Falcon 9 delivered 10 satellites into orbit for communications firm Iridium. SpaceX CEO Elon Musk said on Twitter that in an attempt to recover a fairing falling down from space, the parafoil device slowing the fall became twisted and the fairing impacted water at high speed. Musk now plans to solve that problem within the next few weeks. Former California governor and film star Arnold Schwarzenegger had open heart surgery yesterday. His representative said the surgery was successful and it was performed to replace an aging pulmonic valve. 70-year-old Schwarzenegger is now awake, and his first words after the surgery were, "I'm back." And the family of Stephon Clark says in an autopsy shows that Clark was shot 8 times by Sacramento police. All but one of the 8 bullets struck Clark in the back.
Thank you, Brooke. While the Capitol has been busy with issues related to education, at least one piece of legislation was met with unanimous approval. On Wednesday, the Oklahoma State Senate passed legislation preventing wind farms from disrupting flight paths of military installations. The bill also requires alert of a proposed wind energy facility to the Oklahoma Strategic Military Planning Commission.
And still ahead on OU Nightly.
Rather than requesting comforts from home, how a dying man spent his last hours on Earth. And Brian Briggs is here to give us more with weather.
An excellent Sunday. I'll have more coming up next. Beautiful Friday afternoon. We're seeing beautiful conditions across the whole state. Don't really know what's going on with the Tulsa cam. That has not updated in a while. But you know what? It's 65 degrees here in Norman. We're seeing clear skies, as you can see by our live cam outside. The winds are very, very light too, with west-southwest at 3 miles an hour. Just a beautiful day overall, and that's due to some high pressure that is sitting over our area. We're watching this next storm system, though, not going to bring a lot of rain or snow to our area. The big story is going to be those temperatures that we're going to see. And you're seeing that cold air up to the north, Bismarck 23, Minneapolis 36. This air is going to plunge down, as we've been mentioning the last week or so, into our area, and that's going to spoil a lot of Easter plans that people want to have outside. It's going to be a pretty cold day. But tonight, going to be a mild evening. We're seeing 50 degrees here in Norman, a little bit warmer than what we would normally see for this time of year. And Saturday, maybe you want to do all the Easter stuff outside for Saturday, as it's going to be beautiful. We're going to see 71 here, just 70s across the whole state. Not expecting any rain during the day. However, we may see some showers and thunderstorms during the afternoon and evening. So let's take a look at that. Here's that front that I mentioned earlier. It's going to sweep across the state. Now we may see some showers and thunderstorms here in Norman, but I think the main action is actually going to be going south of us, and that cold air is going to be spilling into our area. That snow is not going to make it to us. It's just going to be very cold and just a dreary Easter day. So here's a future temperature map. As you can see, just what to expect. Beautiful for that Saturday again, but those 40s and 30s stick around for our Sunday. So it's just going to be a very cold and raw day for Easter. So the rainfall map is showing some rainfall across the area. We may get over 1/10 of an inch here in Norman. I don't really think that we're going to get that much rain. I think the main story again is going to be to the south. So I would expect to see maybe that much in Ardmore and McAllister. But it's going to be fairly dry for most of the time. So again, beautiful on Saturday. We may see some PM thunderstorms here, but that's mainly for the other parts of the state. We'll see some drizzle and some light showers for our Sunday. It's going to be cold. And then look at our temperatures for next week. We stay cooler than what we would normally be for this time of year. However, it's not going to be bad. We may see some rain towards the end of the 7-day, but you know, spring just is struggling to get into the Sooner State. It just seems.
Yeah, thanks, Brian.
Mm-hmm.
A man in Scotland received his dying wish yesterday, one last kiss from his dog. Peter Robson, a 70-year-old man battling lung disease, wanted to spend his final hours with his border collie named Shep. In a tear-jerking Facebook video, Robson is seen reaching over the side of the hospital bed to pet the dog, then moves his oxygen mask off to let the dog lick him. Robson was able to spend 30 to 45 minutes with the dog, and he died hours later surrounded by family. I just think that's the sweetest video.
Yeah, it was a little bit hard for me to hold back the tears on that one.
I know.
Well, thanks for watching the news this Friday night. Big Friday Sports is still to come.
Reagan, can you follow that one up?
Yeah, guys, I don't know if I can follow that one up, but hey, today on Big Friday Sports, the brackets may be busted, but hey, it's Final Four time, and we will break it down for you. Plus, spring has sprung, and baseball is back, and it started with quite the bang. You don't want to go anywhere. Big Friday Sports is just around the corner. Hey, it's Friday, and that means it's time for Big Friday Sports. Thank you for joining us. I'm Reagan Ledbetter, and he is Kenneth Adair.
Sir, let's get things started on the diamond, shall we?
Let's do it.
OU softball and baseball had their openers against Baylor last night, and neither team disappointed. The softball team shut out the Bears 5-0, and well, baseball downed the green and gold as well. The team got off up to a 3-0 by the 6th, and they cruised on by from there. Kyler Murray had a good showing, going 2 for 3 with an RBI. Cade Harris went 2 for 4 with an RBI also, as the Sooners took game 1 of the series pretty easily with a 4-2 victory.
And for many Americans, opening day of the MLB season is a true holiday. The smell of the fresh cut grass, hot dogs on the grill, and a cold beverage in hand on a sunny day is sports heaven to many. Well, the 2018 season started with a bang, literally. Chicago Cubs' Ian Happ took the very first pitch of the season and sent it right to the right field stands. First home run, hit, and run all in one swing.
And going from the first pitch to a first-time Yankee, Giancarlo Stanton had a day I doubt any Yankee fan will forget, as he went 3 for 5 with 4 RBIs, and you mentioned home runs. He had 2 of them Wow. And get this, it was the first time a Yankee has had 2 home runs on opening day since 1963.
Yeah, Yankees are going to be good this year. And also closing out opening day last night, one of baseball's greats making a return home, back to my home actually, after a stint with the Yankees and the Marlins. Ichiro made his return to Safeco Field, suiting back up with the Seattle Mariners.
And switching from the MLB to the NBA, the Oklahoma City Thunder lost to the Spurs last night in San Antonio. The game came down to the wire, going back and forth in the fourth quarter. Paul George led the way for OKC with 26 points, 7 rebounds, and 6 assists. But sadly, it was not enough as the Thunder struggled in crunch time, and the Spurs got the win at home, 103-99. And coming your way, we will get into the Final Four of March Madness, and someone who's used to sitting behind a desk instead got to stand in front of a net. So sit or stand still and just wait until we get back.
Hey, welcome back. Tomorrow, basketball returns with a showdown of the Final Four teams left in college hoops down in your favorite city, San Antonio.
I'm excited about it. Our very own Matt March is here with a preview on what to expect this weekend. Matt?
Thanks, guys. That is right. March Madness is back. First up, the Cinderella story continues as 11-seeded Loyola Chicago takes on number 3 Michigan. The Ramblers started off the tournament with back-to-back wins off buzzer beaters and have been draining threes at a 40% rate. This will be the first time an 11 seed is in the Final Four since VCU did it in 2011. Then it didn't work out, but Loyola looks to change that with a little divine intervention from their good luck charm, Sister Jean.
Well, this is the most fun I've had in my life. It is. It's just so much fun for me to be here, and I almost didn't get here, but I fought hard enough to do that because I wanted to be with the guys.
Now Michigan is back in the Final Four for the first time since 2013, led by power forward Mo Wagner and his 14 points per game and 7 boards. The Wolverines are averaging 70 points a game while allowing 59 throughout the tournament. In the Sweet 16, Michigan blew out Texas A&M, but versus Florida State in the Elite Eight, only won by 4. They will need their defense to step up big against the red-hot Ramblers.
I value very much how good a team Loyola is. They're as good as any team in this tournament. They've proven that. And we're going to have to play better than we've played if we're going to be playing on Monday night.
And in a battle of the number 1 seeds, the Kansas Jayhawks, fresh off their overtime win against Duke, will now face the potent offense of Villanova. The Jayhawks, led by senior Devontae Graham and sophomore Udoka Azubuike, narrowly won their past 3 games by 4 points. The Jayhawks are lights out from beyond the arc, shooting 40%, and will need that to continue if they expect to win.
Look forward to the weekend and the opportunity to play, you know, probably the best team from start to finish this year in college basketball.
And to round out the Final Four are the Villanova Wildcats. Sound familiar? That's because they were the 2016 national champions. They're back again and have some say are the team to win it all. This veteran-heavy squad leads the nation in offense with 87 points per game and have won each tournament game by 12 or more points. With a balanced offense and defense, you might just be looking at your future national champions again.
But we are fired up about this challenge. Kansas is really explosive team, a scary team. It should be a great game.
All right, guys, so predictions this weekend.
I'm going on a thin limb, Loyola. I'm just going to say it, Sister Jean.
Cinderella
what do you got?
Team. I got Kansas. I'm going to keep it in the Big 12. Hopefully bring it home.
Well,
Gotta go Matt. Cinderella.
Hey, appreciate it. Well, you know, there's a saying, there is always a chance. Well, one 36-year-old Chicago accountant got a huge taste of just that. Scott Foster played goalie last night for the Chicago Blackhawks. Yes, you heard me correctly. Foster has gone to 15 games this year as an emergency goalie, and Thursday he was told he would be suiting up against Winnipeg. 6 minutes into the third period, when the starting goalie got hurt, Foster's name was called to close it out. He made 7 saves and did not allow a goal in the 6-2 win. But yes, this morning it was back to the day job for Foster.
Thank you for watching Big Friday Sports, brought to you by Gaylord College here at the University of Oklahoma.
Hey, make sure to tune in at 4:30 on Monday for all the coverage of the Oklahoma Teacher Walkout.
Have a great evening.
Good night.
We know we're focused.